We'll find out as we are now in the pick and ban phase for game number 1 between Invictus Gaming and RNG. Some pretty standard bans coming out right quick. Cacao's Echo not being left up to chance, but Zatai's Shen and his Maokai are still on the board, and Evelyn banned away from MLXG.
So these junglers have a very shared champion pool. They've got the Evelyn, they've got the Echo, and the Rek'Sai as 3 of them most common played and most played in general recently. So smart bans from both of them, and ready for Invictus to pick whatever they would like.
Yeah, the Rise is the final ban. No chance that's going to get through Zatai. He's just scrolling through the random as per usual, but I'd be pretty surprised if you were to pick one of those champions.
Probably default to the Rek'Sai based off the bans alone, unless there is something that seems to take a higher priority for them, such as the Maokai that Zatai found a lot of success on, or the Shen, which was banned away from him yesterday. They didn't want to let Invictus get that.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised to see him first pick it, however. Gragas, Janna still available, so too is Victor. And he opts for the Gragas, going to play it safe with that more typical meta pick for Cacao.
Yeah, picking the jungle option, of course, a very smart decision. Doesn't reveal your hand, but still something that is a necessity. Cacao is a phenomenal Gragas player. Of course, as you mentioned, leaves open some pretty good champions.
Yeah, Maokai instantly locked in an answer from Let Me, and MLXG is going to be taking Janna for Lei.
Yeah, they've picked the response near immediately here, RNG. They have a plan, and it seems to be not only to deny picks from Invictus Gaming, which is what the Maokai and the Janna do, but to give Whoosh that strong lane. They've unlocked the potential for a Vayne again, who we have seen so much success on today. Even the Ezreal, no, it is banned actually. I take that back. Still Corki, everything you could want as an AD option. They could still actually revert back to the Sivir now I think about it, and try and out-teamfight Invictus, which is something we mentioned before.
Well, that would certainly show that RNG are feeling confident out-teamfighting Invictus Gaming. It just sounds a little bit ludicrous when you say it out loud, but Invictus looking at some more standard picks right now. Kitty's going back towards that favored Braum, while Cacao, he's feeling a bit trolly right now. Might be picking that for Zatai. We'll see if he swaps it over. Oh my goodness, he locked it in.
It's a good matchup for a Trundle against the Maokai. There's something about it where you just possess so much sustain that you can actually out-sustain a Maokai.
Is that possible?
Is wondrous to consider, isn't it? But with every successive item that you get, generally combat stats as well as the Trundle, because you've got the ultimate for laning phase, you can easily 1v1 people, remove their resistances. And the cool thing about being against the Maokai is that he usually goes for the Righteous Glory as his first item, so that he has no resistances and you're removing what isn't there already. Pretty weak tree in a 1v1.
We'll see if Let Me will end up getting chopped down by the ice block of Zatai, as Elise is locked in for MLXG. Kog'Maw similarly locked in, could be AP in the mid lane, could be for Wushin. We'll see what he decides to go for, but man, I am excited. I love Elise.
Elise is great. Again, early pressure jungler. We have seen MLXG play this in the past, and it's just it works really well with a pick comp. Very good for engage and disengage, has this presence about it, and it may well be a Kog'Maw mid lane based off just the Elise alone. We've still got 1 pick remaining for them, so we'll see. Whoosh, of course, has played Kog'Maw in the past. Still don't know what he's going to go for yet, but the possibility is there, the flexibility in their draft of 4 so far, evident.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to go for with that last pick, as Invictus Gaming are on their 3rd and final draft. They're looking at a mid laner for Rookie and an AD carry. Time, with Lucian available, takes the Vayne, while Rookie goes back to Victor. This is a strong draft for Invictus.
Yeah, something we said earlier is indicative of Time's play style, is that Lucian, in-your-face, aggressive, mechanics-heavy play. Vayne suits that perfectly. Will be able to fill that gap that the Lucian otherwise would be there for. A little bit less in terms of AoE damage, a bit less range, more all-in. Does seem to be what Time prefers though, and they have gone for that Victor in the mid lane. Rookie picking that one up. It's a blind pick, so it's a safe pick to say you're going to go for the Victor, and he's still got a lot of damage potential behind that team. They were missing the hyper carries. They've got the Trundle in the top lane, who's a fairly tanky member. They've got the Braum and the Gragas, so now that they've locked in their finished team comp here in Invictus, they do have the damage that they were otherwise looking for.
Looks like we did have a brief bug in champion select. We'll get that figured out right quick, but he was hovering that Orianna for the last pick in the mid lane. That was Xiao Hu. What do you think that actually ends up working out for that composition, because it's kind of tricky to play with an Orianna into a Victor.
It is a bit tricky, but Orianna's always going to be a competent laner. Will get through laning phase perfectly fine. Of course, pressured out a little bit, Victor can always match your trading, especially before you get your items. And the thing about that matchup in particular is that at every stage of the game, the Victor can outdamage you to a certain extent. The question is always going to be, is it all-in worthy in terms of how big the outtrade is going to be? Well, that's execution heavy. But Victor, favored in the matchup, preferred, but not by a crazy amount.
Yeah, and it's going to be even more interesting on top of that, because you've got Rookie with that Victor going up against Xiaohu, the solo queue king. Will Xiaohu be able to keep up with arguably one of the best mid laners in the world? We'll certainly find out. And all in all, we did get a final look at the completed team comp for Invictus Gaming. They went back to something that works for them. You've got the Trundle split pushing, you put Time in the mid lane on a hyper carry, and then you get Cacao split pushing as well.
Yeah, so it's safe comfort picks. It's in the first game of this best of 2 series, and you never really know what to expect from RNG either. They're a bit erratic in that sense, and that comes from being the solo queue style of play. And we are just rocketing through these ban phases. Everything ready to go.
Yeah, it looks like there was a brief bug. Everyone not even going to bother picking priority style. They're just picking for themselves right now, as we do have the exact same bans coming out as well. So those are our final lineups for game number 1 between Invictus Gaming and RNG. We're preparing to get onto the Rift right now. And what do you think? Looking at these team comps, what do you expect?
The biggest question mark is always going to be raised about the top laner right now, is that Zatai is looking to be a little bit of a fighter and try and push the Maokai out. Of course, very difficult to do so, and Trundle not known for his high level of resistances, mostly his sustain. So being ganked, highly susceptible to getting ganked. Maokai has a lot of kill pressure early, especially with a jungle gank, having the Twisted Advance available. You look at the top lane, you think, well, between an Elise and a Maokai, they can definitely kill in a 2v1.
Oh, yeah.
So where will Cacao and where will MLXG focus? If it's not the top lane, would you go to the bottom lane where the Cogmore is going to be this scaling beast?
Yeah, we'll certainly find out right now as we're running through the lineups. It's Zatai versus Let Me, Cacao versus MLXG, and in the mid lane, Rookie versus Xiaohu on Victor and Orianna. Here comes the duo. It's going to be Time versus Wushin.
That is a very dangerous bot lane to consider. Early game is going to be an important factor as to how they both scale later on. They've got their supports there to hold their hands. One's a very aggressive guy with a big mustache. The other one sits at the back, lets the Cogmore put out damage whilst hiding behind him.
Now we'll see how that works out. Some IG fans celebrating in the crowd. Zatai once again on an iPad as the audience is reared and ready to go. And we're getting into game right now. And we have loaded onto the Rift. Welcome back, everyone. It's week 10, day 3, set 3, game number 1, 17 seconds in. Invictus Gaming versus RNG, game number 1.
We have definitely loaded into this one, and from what we're seeing already, this early game is going to be super important, but nobody looking to change things up whatsoever. So the solo queue kings, as they have been aptly named here, RNG, most likely looking for those standard lanes so that they can try and outperform their opponents. The team fighting, well, of recent times, the team fighting gods themselves in Invictus Gaming.
We'll certainly find out. We've got a defensive lineup prepared. MLXG just dropping a volatile Spiderling with the best Elise skin in the game.
Oh, that's debatable.
Because it's impossible to see the cocoon, and her Spiderlings are also lighter colors.
That doesn't make a skin better.
Sure it does.
Makes a skin worse.
Like the Victorious Elise is actually considered the best skin for competitive play because the cocoon's yellow color makes it more difficult to see.
Okay.
Which is why it's disabled in competitive.
That's unfortunate because that is my favorite one. Indirectly being a scumbag right there. There we go.
Well.
But yes, Elise in the jungle. Something different as well, Elise being played. She hasn't been put into the 5.14 meta that we know her win rate skyrocketed, has become this super freak of a champion.
Super freak.
Instead, is still the old Elise,
Yep.
But it's definitely worth noting there are a couple small changes, I believe, in this one.
So this is 513. She hasn't received her 514 buff just yet. She does exceptionally well with Runeglaive, I believe.
Yeah. So that's the biggest feature of this, is the Runeglaive Elise is well and truly a thing to be considered, but it's also a versatile champion. And you don't need to go for the Runeglaive. You can always just switch it up to the Cinderhulk based off what your team needs. Now, they've got a Janna, and they've got a Maokai, so the front line, not necessarily required, but in saying that, it would be welcome to have a second big overbearing frontline member. They have the Cogmore for damage.
Well, we'll see what MLXG decides to build, as we don't, in fact, have a lane swap. Both of the duos decide to commit to the bottom side in time. He's just putting on a bit of a dance for us as he's demonstrating his actions per minute are capable of competing at the LPL level by dancing around and catching the swim CS. Though it looks like RNG are going to be pushing up just a little bit.
They are slightly pushing. Of course, the level 2 fight is a big deal, but the Cogmore, you can see, has complete lane control with that range advantage, and most importantly, that Janna shield, which is just such an overbearing force that the Vayne really cannot afford to trade with until having the silver bolts available.
So it looks like that wave is going to be shoving on the bottom. Rookie performing something similar in the mid lane. He hits level 3 first and looks for just a bit of harass onto Xiao, who doesn't quite find it. And in the top, Zitai and Letme are just doing typical tank things, though it does look like Elise was just spotted looking for the invade.
Considering 3 minutes and 20 seconds into this game, that was a sizable creep advantage in the mid lane until they all got pushed under the turret. And then it's still fight.
Ooh, Kakao looking to fight with MLXG. Double buff for MLXG means he's trading a bit more effectively. Here's Zitai. MLXG goes low. He's forced to flash. And that gank turns sour.
At least one of the better junglers for health, but non-comparable to that of Kakao and his Gragas, though he didn't have the double buff. So based off jungle clear speed and pathing options, favoring the Elise, though the numbers advantage well and truly in favor of Invictus, as Orianna, as we were talking about, was relegated to sitting under the turret, trying to last hit minions, or would have fallen way too far behind.
Yeah, and that's something we actually talked about in Champions League, was the early strength of Elise, and we saw MLXG just trying to flex it, but not quite finding the success he was looking for. Xiao Hu shoves the wave, and Rookie freezes it nice and comfortably.
Going to take a lot of damage trying to freeze that many. As he smartly decided, just let the minions sit back in his direction before lasering them all.
And in the top, Letme and Zitai continuing to toss their wet noodles around. So you actually spoke about how it would be very strong for Zitai to lane against Letme. Looks like he's just kind of keeping even for now.
So the biggest thing is usually going to be the first fight in terms of how strong they are going to be. A lot of sustain comes out of Trundle. Again, we compared it to that of Maokai, and at this stage of the game, generally they are matched. So you can see that by going Doran's Blade start on this Trundle, that he is confident in matching the sustain. Doesn't need to last hit with that Doran's to get health back. He has the passive to get health from every minion that dies nearby him. So definitely has matching sustain to that of a Maokai. The real threat comes in once he gets that first fly, depending on his pathing options here, whether he wants to go for the Hydra, which is a split push style of Trundle, or if he wants to go for a Blade the Ruin King, perhaps to be able to just completely destroy Letme in a one-on-one fight, maybe use that elsewhere, or he could just go straight resistances and look to have it, as aptly named, of course, the Wet Noodle fight, where no one kills anyone, but they just last hit minions.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to go for. Kitty's going to tag Wushin just a bit. Stunned will find him, but there's no Gragas on that side of the map. They're just going to trade right back with Wushin. And, you know, it is a bit interesting to see how RNG are putting so much pressure onto Invictus Gaming in this early game. You've got a lane shove in the top, bottom, and even in the mid.
Yeah, they're keeping them down. Of course, Woosh actually taking a lot of damage from that trade, had to use his pot. So the bot lane of Invictus are in a good spot, all things considered. But this is RNG finding strength through their laning phase. Not able to translate that into anything further, but this is what unlocks the Elise in the jungle position, is that if every lane, which unfortunately mid the only one that isn't, is in a good position, is pushed in, then you are allowed to get free reign of your jungle or their jungle, depending on what you want to do, because you have the assumption that your laners are then going to rotate sooner, and their jungler can't afford to fight you.
See if Kakao can keep up. We generally herald Kakao for his unique jungle pathing, but for the time being, he seems content to just sit and farm in his own side. Pink ward was dropped in that bush you just saw pinged, but Kakao's going to decide to let it be for now as he just clears out a Scuttle Crab. And there's another ward a little bit deeper on his side of the jungle that would be able to spot him out as time gets a nice big wave building on that bottom side. Lucian is just going to catch it all.
Yeah, they've done well here, Invictus Gaming, to quell the threat of this Kog'Maw Janna in the 2v2 almost explicitly at this stage. Rookie's still well and truly in control of this mid lane. Has opted towards that wave clear option, is so standard to see. Nice. Cocoon.
Very solid. This is the 513 Cocoon, so at level 1 it does only stun for 1 second. But still very effective, fast projectile, difficult to dodge. And you just saw it was able to allow MLXG to pick up that ward clear. Xiaohu looks to start clearing out raptors for himself. Seems like he's hungering a bit for gold.
Yeah. Not necessarily hungering, just not too confident being in this lane. Victor naturally does try to push and then disappear, so you can be very content with going to your raptors, getting them done, and then coming back to actually pick up the minions that are going to be near your turret then.
Yeah, blue buff now being handed over to Xiaohu. Rookie actually with a minor CS lead for now. We'll see if he continues to exercise it or if Xiaohu is going to be able to catch up as Kakao continues to farm in his own jungle. 8 minutes in and not a single dance.
Yeah, I was going to say, looking for that level 6 is getting very close to that now, you would imagine, as he's doing his red buff, and it should tick him over. There it is.
Let me getting low. Here comes Rookie. This is a tricky situation for Let Me. Let's see if he can get out. No, he's not even going to waste his flash. First blood onto Zetai.
And this is the power of the Trundle in this pick. The Victor didn't even really do that much damage. He just came in, threw down a laser, and that was what secured the kill for Zetai. But using that ultimate, having the pickaxe, of course, looking towards that Tiamat, you would imagine, from this pickaxe, it's going to be very good for his laning phase, especially now he has the kill. And Let Me, you can see the change in his itemization, not going immediately for that Righteous Glory, doing the smart thing. And though Trundle's going to take resistance from him and become the tank, he's not going to take what little resistances there are and make Let Me not a tank.
Yeah, we're not going to see anything like that out of Let Me, as he is nice and tanky. Tiamat is completed for Zetai as he recalls, and Xiaohu, once again, he was looking for the Raptors, but it cost his top laner his life. We'll see if that sort of mistake happens once again, as there are a lot more wards on the map after that shenanigans.
There's also the mind game of when an Orianna disappears to do the Raptors, Victor will naturally ping that she is missing and assume that she's gone into a particular lane, see which one has the highest kill threat, and then go there himself to match the Orianna in the threat of either counter-ganking or getting there first. So perhaps going for the Raptors was the ultimate downfall.
Kitty spots MLXG on the invade. He takes a bit of damage, but Unbreakable soaks just a bit right back. They're under the tier 1. There's a big minion wave. There goes the knockup. It denies any sort of engage. The shockwave goes wide. Time dodges the ultimate, and they get out alive.
They played that really well in Invictus Gaming. The Braum ultimate was the sign to disengage as soon as possible, and that is exactly what they did. Managing to dodge the Orianna ultimate, they were completely flanked, but the fact that Braum could actually put them into a position where they had to choose to walk on at a direction on either side of the turret actually gave them a window to escape, and they got out.
Oh, Xiaohu looking for some damage here. No, that's Rookie. Xiaohu doesn't want the damage. With flash and heal, he's just able to walk out.
Gragas right there, though. He sees you.
He certainly does. Kakao, a bit hesitant on pulling the trigger. He's trying to waddle his way into melee range. Doesn't quite find it. Instead, they just find the tier 1.
Yeah, forcing Xiaohu away from all of these minions under the turret. The cannon as well gone missing. And that's a lot of pressure now given to this Invictus Gaming team. Whoosh taking some damage too.
He certainly is. Time not quite ready to follow up, as he did only just now reach level 7. So 11 minutes into the game, we're starting to see things heat up as RNG try to pull the trigger on the bottom lane, but just can't quite pull it off. And Rookie actually secures the first turret of the game.
Yeah, that pressure that was placed across the teleport
on the bottom. Looks like Zetai is rearing for some action. Laney gets caught. He's brought low, and Kakao picks up another kill for Invictus Gaming. At least the Spiderlings caught a bit of stun, but they're going to get out. Invictus Gaming looking for their first dragon.
Yes, thankfully the Spiderlings make it out. MLXG actually using the flash over the wall because Rookie had flanked and forced that out of him. So that's a sign. One dead. Elise definitely skittering away free dragon here for Invictus.
Yeah, most certainly. Let me looking to answer on the other side of the map. Might he be able to take this tier 1?
It's actually going to get very low. He's still got the 3 minions now too, and he's going for it.
He's going to try. I don't know
He should
if he
get
just
it.
has enough. Oh,
He's
he's
choosing not to.
chickened out.
One more
Oh,
wave.
yeah.
Trundle's here though, so he's actually not going to get it.
Yeah, so lots
Like
of damage
Trundle
finds the tier 1.
We'll get him.
Oh, he's got his ultimate. Seems Zatai decides to pull the trigger. Oh, can't quite pass through the minions. He does a lot of damage. Even finding a knock-up, Let Me forced to use his ultimate to survive. Zatai forces Let Me's flash.
Yeah, easy lane. Once you get the Tiamat again, it's just so simple to walk at him. Saving the pillar though, which was really smart until he got smashed away and had to face the other direction. So he could use that to catch back up. And now all Zatai's really missing is those boots to actually keep up with his lane opponent. Most likely the Merc treads at a guess, and then he's going to be great. But he's probably going to go for the Hydra as his first item to really just ridiculous sustain will come out of this Trundle.
Yeah, MLXG was just on the top side to make sure that turret wasn't shoved. And in the meanwhile, Rookie did manage to clear a pink ward as well. So currently, Invictus Gaming with a minor lead. They do have that first turret, first dragon, and the first 2 kills of this game. Let's see if they can continue to expand on that.
This is the worrying thing, though, is that RNG, we have coined them as more of the laning strength team. They're now essentially losing laning phase. Losing it.
Looting lasing phase.
Yes, they are. Towards Invictus, who have actually been playing around the map quite nicely. Rookie controlling mid lane, a big factor into why that is even happening at all. He has been everywhere possible, zoning the Elise from ganks, out of his own jungle as well. It's doing really good things here for Invictus Gaming, and it's quite a scary proposition for RNG.
Yeah, we just saw him steal away the blue buff with the rest of Invictus Gaming from Xiaohu. Even with Wuxian on the bottom side, he's not going to get a chance to shove the wave under the turret. This time and Kitties barely make it there and catch the wave. I say barely, they really had a lot of time to make it.
Oh, they definitely made it. They've also got strength in items right now in this bottom lane, as Woosh, needing to buy, you would imagine, with all of his money, will be getting a lot closer to that. There it is.
Yeah.
And now the strength is matched, and now they can actually afford to fight in this bottom lane RNG.
Let's see if they manage to go for it. Zatai completing the Ravenous Hydra before finishing boots, just going to try shredding through the frozen heart of Let Me.
Yeah, doesn't even need to use the ultimate anymore to trade against this Maokai, who starts to slow down in terms of damage output by going tank items. Has opted immediately for the Frozen Heart opposed to a Righteous Glory, which is quite standard of a Maokai to do. This says to me he's looking to teamfight sooner rather than later. They've got the Trinity Force on the Kog'Maw, they've got the Athenes finished on this Orianna. Well and truly capable of looking for a fight sooner rather than later, if they would like.
Yeah, we'll see if they decide to pull the trigger. Red buff secures the Scuttle Crab while Rookie gets another blue just to refresh his blue timer.
So many blues.
Yeah, things are going pretty good for Invictus Gaming.
It's just the control on the map. It's nothing crazy. You can see 2-0 in this score and only 1,000 basically for gold, 1.5. But the control they have individually over every lane, except bottom, but they're still comfortable, is just ridiculous.
Zatai doesn't even care about the fact that his minion wave gets cleared. He styles out a little bit.
Waits for the minions to die by auto-canceling.
Very stylish play. Gets the second turret for Invictus Gaming, and he could be in a bit of trouble as now he doesn't have a tier 1 to fall back to.
Yeah, very easy for the Trundle to chase now past what would have been the tower, but is now rubber. I cannot speak for that. Bot lane has a lot of pressure still onto time. It's the one lane for RNG that is still doing well. Not to say top's doing badly, it's just that Zatai loves to split push on this Trundle and he's already found the first turret. And this essentially unlocks him in lane.
Yeah, he is in the zone, and that zone is Let Me's top lane. While Xiaohu is keeping pace in the mid lane, he's even in overall gold, just missing out on that assist in the global gold of those turrets. But Dragon's going to be up in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and Invictus Gaming did get that first one.
But something we have touched on is the potential for fighting here from this RNG side. The power spikes that are 90% on the table, ready to go. They're just missing some boots for each of their respective laners. Mid lane Orianna going immediately for that Luden's Echo before finishing boots. Straight into the move speed item. instead of actually finishing them. So relative move speed going to be there. Not needing the magic penetration is the decision.
MLXG was just looking for a gank in the bottom lane, even walking through a pink-warded brush to make sure he was clear, but Kakao with a counter gank and an excellent clairvoyance. Blue trinket from time, spot him out, and there's going to be no real action on that bottom side. Dragon's now up in 40 seconds.
The complete control of this bottom side river. You can see the pink wards extended with green wards of their own, just denying any possibility of RNG to get near that dragon pit. Kakao stalking back and forth, looking for prey essentially as Rookie's finding them and just drying them out basically, not giving them a chance.
Very tricky for RNG, double teleport available. And the minions actually take the third tier 1 turret for Invictus Gaming. With that clear, Wu Xin forced to catch the wave. Dragon has just spawned and all of Invictus Gaming are in the area.
3-0 in turrets right now. And the gold lead is basically doing very well.
LPL tries to start the dragon. He's going to shred through his health really quick with that Elise. Will Kakao get the steal? No. They decide to let RNG take the dragon, and Invictus Gaming can't fight.
RNG, that was really smart of them playing with the recall timing of Invictus. And they don't need the vision control if they're aware that people have recalled. They just run straight to the dragon pit. They complete that as soon as possible. And Kakao doesn't want to pull the trigger on an attempted steal and risk of dying. And with the 2-0 scoreline for kills, I don't blame him really, because nobody wants to die at the moment.
Considering how low kill game this is, it kind of makes sense as Zatai continuing to be a bully. He's actually keeping up in farm, but Zatai's just such a menace. Uh-oh, MLXG might be caught here. Uses the repel. He's got nowhere to go to. Teleport now being dropped. Zatai interrupts it on the other side. MLXG brought low. He's going to go down. Rookie gets another kill.
Yeah, they're playing very well. The top lane's just going to be wet noodles, but Zatai completely in control. That's what we're talking about, is the fact that Trundle will keep Let Me in place. The teleport either being cancelled or just being stopped by one of the two situations, either Trundle or himself.
Uh-oh, Rookie. Ooh. He was on 100.
He was. He's got that move speed. He's upgraded that X core multiple times. So the Q and the E, the two choices for him. Move speed and the extra damage on that laser. Rookie controlling this mid lane indefinitely. Top lane, again, Zatai, complete control of where Let Me is, irrespective of how the lane is going. And of course, keeping up in farm, as you mentioned, doing well.
Yeah.
Not doing game-changing amounts of well, but he's still in it.
He certainly is. And I guess let's go back to what we talked about during Champions. I want to follow how MLXG has done this game, because we mentioned that if RNG do well, it's typically because MLXG makes something happen. This game, he wasn't able to do that.
Well, we can look at the scoreline of every single RNG member, and we can see it's very indicative of how much MLXG has been able to do this game. But there's multiple reasons for it, of course. It's not just the fact that he's failed anything. Might be trying now, though.
Yeah, he's finally trying, but Invictus Gaming just a step ahead. They've already got their duo on the top side, and the gank fails.
This is something we saw yesterday from them, and this is a big reason as to why MLXG couldn't actually make anything happen, is that they're always one step ahead. Their map movements, their control, not even just of the vision, but decision-making and shot calling just seems to have increased suddenly, and they've just become much more efficient in that they try and get a gank, they try and invade the jungle of Kakao, and suddenly all of Invictus collapse.
Yeah.
Every single time RNG have tried to do anything, there's been a numbers advantage for Invictus Gaming.
See if they can turn that around. It's still only 20 minutes into the game. Baron has just spawned, and it's still fairly even in CS all across the board. The only place we're really seeing a difference is on those 3 turrets and the 3 kills that Invictus Gaming have.
Yeah, only about 20 in the top lane and roughly 15 to 20 in the mid lane also. Yeah. So nothing crazy. It's starting to add up, of course. You can see that gold lead creeping further and further into the hands of Invictus Gaming. But again, they're not pulling the trigger just yet, waiting. Oh, speaking of,
Rookie gets caught out by Xiao, who forced a flash over the wall. Great shot from Trundle. Yeah, Zatai decides he wants a fight. Doesn't even have to use his teleport. Single-handedly is able to zone away 2 members of RNG.
Now, Rookie did have to use his flash out of that. The cocoon hits.
Yeah, they might try to turn it around.
They really just don't want to fight.
They certainly don't. Kakao has his flash. They might catch Let Me here. He's so tanky, though. Okay, he gets out.
everyone gets out again. No one able to really capitalize on an engage or pull the trigger to a certain extent. They get a small engage from a hook or an Orianna ultimate, but no one's there to capitalize, and they walk away.
Yeah, they find MLXG though. Cow gets another kill. Some big damage comes down. Time forced to ulti, and Wushin goes low. He's dropped by the Chaos Storm of Rookie, who flanked from the opposite side.
And so the AD carries have arrived this time. The damage is there, and it's not just an Ori ultimate, but those were also not available. RNG, with small attempts to win, didn't actually find the engage, and Invictus, after a small delay, biding their time until the time was right, they engaged themselves, and suddenly people go down. 2 kills for their troubles. Time doing well on that Vayne to kite around and put some damage down. Didn't get the kills himself, but Rookie did.
Yeah, they're trying to go for the Baron right now. Can they shred through its health in time? It has just spawned very weak. Will they be able to secure it? They do indeed. And Invictus Gaming turn now. Let me forced to run away, and Zatai lets him go. The Constable says, you know what? I'll keep an eye on you later.
Give him the baton, Trundle.
Yeah.
Show him who's boss, but again, the gold lead has creeped forward. RNG making a trade now, which is okay, all things considered. But for such a low-impact game, mostly about strategic play and map movements and controlling set areas of vision to unlock them. Xiaohu's completely out of mana here. If Kitty connects.
Oh, no, he does indeed.
Looking
Zatai
bad.
catches up. The stun is going to drop down. He's got flash, but not a chance. Cacao gets another kill for Invictus.
Is it really worth getting the Raptors when you don't have mana or health available? Invictus Gaming had done that Baron a long time ago and made their way back. Caught him out of position. Now they've got 25 seconds. Trundle doesn't have the teleport, so they're looking at a 4v3 at the moment in the mid lane. But they've got Barons, so basically a free turret for your troubles there, Xiaohu, unfortunately.
Yeah, not the best of decisions. Invictus Gaming break down the first tier 2 turret. And now they continue to shove forward. They've got one Baroned up minion, cannon minion in the back. Wushin looks to clear it out, but Kitties is tanking it. He finds MLXG over the wall, drops the ultimate. Zatai even joins up. Let Me gets knocked out of the pit, but he's full tank mode. It's not enough, and Rookie gets another kill. 7-0 Invictus Gaming, and they're on another tier 2 turret.
They almost had themselves the perfect game as well. That one tower they lost, the one dragon as well, I guess. Not so perfect, but the kill score, it's nearly impossible for RNG to find their way into this game in a convincing position. They need to just go for that team fight. They need the Void Star first and foremost for Xiaohu on this Orianna. Kog'Maw hasn't even upgraded his boots to the second option. He's only got the brown leather boots at the moment. So looking to prioritize damage items, it seems, to ensure that they can still fight, getting the combat stats sooner rather than later. Because they've got one last-ditch effort remaining, essentially. This gold lead is about 8,000 gold.
Yeah.
And it's only 7-0 in kills.
This game just exploded in Invictus Gaming's favor. After a quick recall securing the Baron, the Dragon, their second, they've still got Empowered Dragon Baron buff for about another minute. And with one tier 2 turret left standing on the map, you can see RNG are ready and prepared to keep that thing standing. Yeah,
the next plan of attack, the natural progression of attention should be towards that top lane. Trundle split pushing by himself though, because he is Zatai after all. And everyone else from Invictus Gaming not here just yet.
Oh, they might be trying to bring him low. Wushin actually gets knocked away by the traffic cone. Can't walk there, Kog'Maw.
How do you bring someone low that doesn't take damage, such as Zatai on this Trundle? Look at the sustain once he autos these as well.
Oh,
doesn't know what losing health really means, or how to stay low, I should say.
He's level 16, the Lemmy's 13.
He has not really left a side lane at all, has controlled Let Me, and he's gone from actually top to bottom and just last hit minions when he was there. Zatai doing what is required, standing perfectly still as Let Me farms the minions in front of him, almost taunting.
Yeah.
He's actually taunting.
Little known fact, trees are actually like Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you don't move, they can't see you. You know that's actually a myth? That's not true.
How do you prove that?
Watch Jurassic Park 1.
Ah, okay.
Because the guy tries standing still. And anyways, split push initiated once again. Zatai on the opposite side of the map. The rest of Invictus Gaming on the bottom as they prepare to break an inhibitor.
The complete control again. Zatai is able to take this. The natural progression we were talking about is going to be that top lane turret. Doesn't have his teleport yet, so Invictus Gaming not likely to pull the trigger for about 10 to 20 more seconds. But you'll see RNG are the ones that are going to be trying to put this into effect. Hit the shockwave onto somebody, turn that into the go button, perhaps the cocoon first. But this guy, right now, does not care.
No, he doesn't. Gets chunked down to 2/3 of his health by the turret, then heals it all right back up as the rest of Invictus Gaming skirmish on the opposite side.
Speaking of losing health, one laser and MLXG had to recall. So Invictus Gaming well and truly in the driver's seat. They've got all of the items they could possibly want on this Victor. And the most annoying trundle in the world. Oh
yeah, Let Me actually catches the snare, but again, the traffic cone stops RNG from going down that highway. And the push continues. It seems like RNG just cannot hold their base together.
Well, they can't deal with this trundle. And then the pressure that the rest of them are placing in this bottom lane is going to force a desperation engage very shortly. If they don't, then they're just going to lose these standing objectives that are getting very desperately low. Look at the time.
He's going 1v3 right now, tanking an inhibitor turret. Successfully pulling 3 members away, though, means they might be able to get that one on the other side. No, the siege still continues. Invictus Gaming are just slowly trying to throttle RNG.
All it takes is one more mistake. Zatai is gaining more health than he's losing if he's auto-attacking whilst he's got the turret from the inhibitor on him. And he can go now to the top lane. He's got the minion stack definitely there. He's going to get more damage onto this one. RNG don't have an answer. They're just reacting.
Yeah, blow by blow, the inhibitor turrets are being dropped. He's going to be able to take this one down. The inhibitor turret falls, and IG immediately respond by continuing the siege on the bottom side of the map.
Low impact, but there it is.
Oh my gosh, Rookie does so much damage. Xiaohu didn't stand a chance. RNG tried to disengage, but they've lost their mid laner, and Invictus Gaming are now on the next inhibitor turret. 2 inhibitors about to fall within mere seconds of each other, while Zatai is unstoppable on the other side.
Zatai and fight him. Just do it.
Oh my god. Rookie actually brought relatively low by Wushin, not quite paying attention. Kitty's also chunked out. RNG might be able to chase here. Flash is used, but MLXG can't engage.
No, Invictus Gaming are just playing very coy in their style. Zatai as well. Look at him go.
The cocoon manages to land. He's got his ultimate. Yeah, let's see if he can turn it around. 1 versus 4 Zatai. Can you pull it up? He drops the ultimate. He makes it over the wall. Let Me and MLXG chase. Wushin managing to get some damage across, and Zatai, oh, he's still alive. He's finally dropped by MLXG.
He ran out of mana. Really unfortunate for Zatai right there, because he was actually super close to living.
He was.
But he does go down. RNG, they're on the board.
Yeah.
Startup. They found themselves a single kill in this game. And no longer the perfect victory for Invictus. But this is Zatai actually taunting them to death. So I'm really glad that he went down, because maybe he won't feel as impenetrable as he otherwise was, in saying that he has all of the tank items in the world and has no regard for enemy champions. So.
Yeah. So, we're 30 minutes into the game. Invictus Gaming have got everything going their way. And RNG, their playoff lives are on the line, and you can sort of see they're getting just a little bit desperate in this match.
They're getting very antsy. They know they need to find a fight. They've got the 3 big items and an elixir ready for this Orianna. The Zeal on top of the Trinity Force for Whoosh, looking for damage, getting that critical strike. He's still got a lot of relative move speed. Doesn't need to upgrade his boots in that respect, I suppose. So, well, there it is.
Oh, they're chasing forward.
There
it's not the Ascension. Yup, they got the ward. Nice.
Good job, guys.
40-second
Do it again.
Super minions now pushing into the base. Recalls from RNG. Invictus Gaming on the Baron.
It's a game of patience.
Yeah, MLXG's here, but Zatai is going to be able to zone him away single-handedly. And Invictus Gaming secure the Baron. Yeah.
It is completely a game of patience right now from Invictus. It's very slow, very methodical in their style, but this is something that we've really started to see expand out of this Invictus side, is they're able to play slowly, play to their strength, and try and close the game out through this. They've now got the Baron. Zatai is unkillable. Kakao's still able to engage for his team, and Rookie can blow anybody up that he would choose in this game. They may even just try and push down this Nexus
Seems
straight
like
away.
they're going for it. Nexus turret number 1 going low. It's already at such low health. Rookie kiting around the side, and the
one.
Nexus turret falls. RNG still haven't pulled the trigger. They just can't engage with this. Zatai on the front. Wushin gets caught. Xiaohu tries to trade it out. He's forced to flash away, but Invictus Gaming steamroll forward, picking up 2 kills. Wushin in the fountain still dies to Rookie. Let me tries to tag him, but cannot find it. Good damage comes across, but it's not enough. The Nexus is falling. Are they going to dive? No, they don't. Invictus Gaming take game 1 against RNG.
And that could not have looked more convincing right there. The little kills that Invictus Gaming found onto the priority targets, Rookie getting that one, and then just being this 4-person threat in the bottom lane while Zatai sits top lane and just annoys